Pearson took one wrong step and got skewered by a steel rod. But what happened next would leave surgeons stunned. He's a real-life Indiana Jones in search of the lost Ark. Unless these men get in the way.
They will defend the Ark of the Covenant with their life.
Forget the crackers. These parrot prodigies are hungry for an education.
A toy. Truck. Very good truck.
It started with a nose job. But 24 operations later, she still hasn't reached her royal goal.
The body of Queen Nefertiti.
What makes this man think he can pull not one, but 2 fire trucks? He's getting some strength from above.
I'm quiet, shy kind of guy.
Unbelievable? Believe it. On Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Welcome to the Ripley Warehouse. Now, we've all heard about urban legends, those stories that always happened to a friend of a friend. Well, there are some stories that come to the attention of Ripley's that many people wish were urban legends. Like this.
Today, Neil Pearson can wield a sword almost as well as his fencing instructor. And he couldn't have picked a more unlikely pastime. Because it wasn't too long ago that a similar object nearly ended Neil's life. It all began on Neil's 25th birthday. He decided to celebrate at home, a meal that was almost his last supper.
Neil cooked a meal for himself and 2 friends. After his meal, they went upstairs and they had a glass of wine.
When the evening was over, Neil walked a friend to his car, and that's when his fate was thrust upon him.
And as I was closing the garden gate after his car just pulled away, I was turning the corner to get round to the front door of the house, and I slipped on a very, very icy driveway.
Neil fell into a flower garden, and after feeling a little dazed, he tried to stand up.
And it was the strangest sensation. I tried to, get up, and it was just this remnants of a plant pot was coming with me, and it was just wait a minute, something doesn't quite feel right here.
Neil had skewered himself on a piece of pipe his father had placed there to support a plant.
About 2-3 minutes before I saw the pole coming out of his neck, and I just went to pieces, completely and utterly, noisily went to pieces.
What actually happened was that a metal rod that my dad had decided that was going to hold this plant up had actually skewered me, entering right under my right armpit, travelling through my body and exiting approximately there.
With almost a yard of metal thrust through his body, Neil's life was hanging in the balance.
I didn't think Neil would make it to the hospital, to be absolutely honest with you. I did not think he would make it.
When Neil came in, this was quite a horrendous-looking injury. It's not the kind of injury that you see every day, fortunately.
Ripping into his torso, the pipe took a deadly path through an area ripe with vital organs, veins, nerves, and arteries.
The rod entered the right armpit, then penetrated underneath the pectoralis major muscle and made its way towards the right clavicle. It then managed to miss the common carotid and the jugular vein on the left-hand side and came out underneath his ear.
Miraculously, the metal rod evaded every vital organ in its path.
It is quite an incredible feat, if you like, for this metal rod to have done, to have got through so many vital structures without really damaging any. That's quite amazing, and certainly unique in my experience.
I was told if it was a medical procedure, it couldn't be done because it was just far too risky. And it didn't touch a thing.
The doctors slowly inched out the steel rod, monitoring Neil's vitals second by second. They were concerned he would collapse, go into shock, or there could be massive bleeding.
Strangely enough, there was actually no blood at all. There was no blood, no pain, nothing.
Doctors were stunned. With only 5 stitches to close the wound, Neil simply got up off the operating table and walked home.
Look at that.
You'd think Neil would keep his distance from sharp objects these days, but actually he's taken to a hobby that is near and dear to his heart, lungs, veins, and windpipe.
Lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice, or at least it's not supposed to. But if there was ever a candidate to be on the receiving end of several lightning strikes, it's a man named the Lightning Stalker.
David O. Stillings is a hunter of the most unusual kind. He's a master who stalks his deadly prey in the most dangerous weather he can find. But this marksman doesn't catch his quarry with a rifle. He uses a camera. David is better known as the Lightning Stalker. For nearly 25 years, he has been capturing incredible images like these, but each time he ventures out, he puts his life on the line, because this isn't just a camera, it's a lightning rod of death.
It's a little bit tricky out there when you're photographing lightning, because lightning happens to love metal. When I first started this thing, the biggest risk was being hit by lightning. I'm standing there with a metal camera, a metal tripod, a metal cable release attached to my hand. I'm usually the only thing out in the field. I try not to stand under trees, okay? But even with that camera and that metal tripod and being out there, and because we're 86% water, lightning loves human beings because lightning loves water.
David first started by trying to photograph something very tame, a sunset, but a storm got in his way, and he accidentally took a picture of a lightning flash.
With that one photograph, the very first one called Eruption, it was an obsession. I mean, everything that I wanted to do, my dream at the time, and all my dreams start with 5 words, wouldn't it be neat if? And my dream at the time was, wouldn't it be neat if I could capture one streak of lightning a year? Just one. And boy, look what happened.
As a resident of Orlando in Central Florida, David is in the perfect place to satisfy his addiction. Orlando receives about 90 lightning strikes a year. Kelly Boyd of the Orlando Science Center explains how this area became known as Lightning Alley.
Because we're a peninsula, you know that land heats air faster. So what happens is it pulls the air off the Atlantic and off the Gulf. It begins to rise. Once the air hits a certain atmosphere, it will begin to condense and form thunderstorms.
Those thunderstorms can be lethal to anyone in their path, and even wearing rubber-soled shoes is no protection from lightning. David himself nearly became a victim while taking pictures of a storm passing over a nearby lake.
I'm standing there with an aluminum tripod, a metal camera. I let go of that cable release and I started to duck down, and the next thing I knew, I was picking myself up off the ground about 15 feet away. And when I came to, it was like I was burned on my right-hand side.
And as if standing in the path of lightning isn't dangerous enough, David also has a few other obstacles to overcome.
You can't shoot lightning in daylight, because as soon as you open that shutter, you're overexposed. You can't photograph lightning in the rain. The rain filters the lightning, so you lose the cloud detail, you lose the little fine leader streaks of lightning, you lose a lot of things when it's raining. When you photograph lightning, if you wait for the lightning to be there and go click, you missed it. So you actually have to photograph lightning before it happens.
And to get to that lightning strike before it happens, he often leaves his wife Judy home alone.
The worst part of David's lightning obsession is his time he has to be instantaneous. If a storm comes through, he has to leave.
Most people can't understand, even my family, even my children, they have a hard time understanding why I would put my life on the line just to get a photograph.
Your chances of being struck by lightning in the United States are 1 in 600,000. Something to think about until we come back.
Coming up, tough guy's wife and kids are behind him all the way as he attempts to pull count them, two fire trucks.
I was doing okay, I was staying calm, and then all of a sudden I was like, there's something wrong.
And this real-life Indiana Jones says there's only one thing stopping him from finding an ark made of gold. Plus, we'll tell you why this wife and mother spent $250,000 to go from this to this. It's all ahead on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Remember the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark? In the movie, Indiana Jones tracks down the lost Ark of the Covenant. Well, that lost Ark wasn't made up by some screenwriter. It really exists, or at least it did, according to the Bible. And now there's a real-life Indiana Jones trying to find it.
The Ark of the Covenant is one of the holiest of all religious objects, a cornerstone of faith around the world. It's a golden chest that, according to the Bible, contains the actual tablets of the 10 Commandments. Bob Cornuke is a real Indiana Jones, a fearless explorer who has traveled around the globe in pursuit of the Ark.
The Ark of the Covenant is one of the most sought-after artifacts of all time. It's a piece of our history, it's a piece of our faith, it's a piece of our culture.
As the president of the Base Research Institute, Bob has spent most of his life searching for lost biblical locations. But for him, finding the Ark is the ultimate challenge.
Well, the Ark of the Covenant is one of the greatest mysteries of all time, and people have sought it out and given their lives in search of it. And so to think that I could possibly even see the Ark or come close to the Ark was pretty compelling for me, and I've committed a lot of time and effort to try and find out where the Ark is located today.
According to the Bible, God used Moses to build the Ark at Mount Sinai. This box, built of acacia wood and covered in gold, was used to carry the 10 Commandments. Author Graham Hancock laid down a unique theory in his book, The Sign and the Seal. His findings suggest the Ark traveled from Jerusalem to Ethiopia. Graham admits this theory is a controversial one.
Biblical scholars, historians, academics don't feel that there's any merit to the Ethiopian claim. There's just a feeling on the part of academics that such an important object as the Ark of the Covenant couldn't possibly have found its way to this remote corner of Africa.
Bob was so intrigued by Graham's theory, it inspired him to begin his search for the Ark.
Before I read Graham's book, I thought it was in a warehouse in Washington, D.C., based on the Indiana Jones movie. But there's been a lot of theories about where the Ark has been located throughout the years. For instance, there's theories that it's under the Temple Mount, or Nebuchadnezzar took it to Babylon, or it's on Mount Nebo. These kind of theories have never proved anything. Nothing has ever become of them. And Ethiopia today possesses the only living legend in the entire world as to where the Ark could be. They believe, and 50 million Ethiopians believe, that the Ark of the Covenant, the actual Ark of the Covenant, is in Ethiopia today.
So Bob Cornuke set off on the adventure of a lifetime. He went to Ethiopia to find the lost Ark. His first destination was an island along the Nile River called Tana Kirkos that exactly matches the historical record. It's an island that has managed to exist in obscurity for hundreds of years. The monks who live here say that ancient priests brought the Ark here from Jerusalem, and they claim they still have the ancient religious relics that came with it: bowls to collect blood, ancient stands, meat forks. But then they revealed something even more amazing: the place where the Ark had been kept.
I said, well, where's the building? There's no building, it was in a tent. So I got out my knife and actually dug through the dirt, and I found socket holes spaced every 13 feet, north to south, the same size as the tabernacle when it was in the wilderness that would have housed the Ark of the Covenant.
The monks were keepers of the Ark for 800 years, but they told Bob that he was 1,600 years too late. The Ark had been taken from them in 400 AD by a king from a city called Aksum, and amazingly, Aksum still existed. Steve Grayson is a filmmaker from MonumentPictures.com. he made the long journey to record Bob's discovery.
The idea that we could make a trip to one of the most remote places in Africa on a search for the Ark of the Covenant was an extraordinary adventure.
Could Bob be this close to solving the mystery of the ages?
In the rubble of this village, in a little chapel called St. Mary's of Zion, they actually say that they have in possession the Ark of the Covenant.
This man, who's over 100 years old, supports the claim. He says he's only one of 2 living people to have actually gazed upon what may be the holiest treasure in the world. The fabled Ark.
He describes the Ark of the Covenant as this gold box with 2 winged angels on top that face each other, with their eyes that face down on the lid of the Ark. He claims that that is the actual Ark of the Covenant.
Locals say the Ark rests securely behind this fence. While the security may seem low-key, there's a very real threat to anyone who crosses this boundary. If the alarm is sounded, an intruder will face the wrath of the entire village. For these people have sworn to defend the Ark to the death.
A lot of people say, why doesn't someone just go in and get the Ark? Well, that's not easy. There's a fence going around it, and it's a building that's built to be very fortified. But the people around in the village, they will defend the Ark of the Covenant with their life if a signal is ever alarmed.
In the meantime, the Ark is cared for by this man, its guardian. Our hidden cameras caught him on tape for the first time ever as he spoke to Bob about being the caretaker for this most holy of religious objects.
We actually got an interview from this man where I don't think anyone has ever filmed him before, and he's telling us that the Ark is the real Ark of the Covenant.
He told Bob he'll spend the rest of his life protecting this site, and he will never leave its compound, St. Mary's of Zion Church. Could this small church really be the final resting place for one of history's most mysterious treasures?
They have a calm assurity about themselves that the Ark of the Covenant is there today. And I don't think that they're going to be swayed by any amount of money or any amount of prestige or any amount of tourism that might come their way. They are there to protect the Ark of the Covenant, and protect it they will.
The guardians of this location don't care if anyone believes them or not. They're committed to protecting not only the Ark's physical safety, but its spiritual power. They will do whatever is necessary to keep cameras and people away from their treasure. But Bob vows to continue his quest to one day be allowed in and see for himself the sacred Ark of the Covenant.
Well, the Bible does talk about people touching the Ark and being struck down dead, or being in the presence of it and being struck down dead. And so there has been concern expressed by a lot of people that if I ever got to touch the Ark, would I do so? I don't know.
If anyone attempts to enter the temple, the watchman rings a bell and over 200 villagers come running, armed with everything from a pitchfork to a machine gun. Now, 700 years before the Ark of the Covenant disappeared, there was a revolution brewing in nearby Egypt. A pharaoh named Akhenaten created a new god. The pharaoh's wife was a woman who has become a legendary symbol of beauty. Her name was Nefertiti.
This is Elizabeth Christensen, a 39-year-old wife and mother who lives in East Sussex, England. This is also Elizabeth Christensen, and so is this, and this, and this.
I had about 24 operations. I must honestly say I don't know exactly, and I have changed everything. So I have transformed the whole face.
Elizabeth's goal, it turns out, is to transform her appearance from this to this, an exact replica of a 3,000-year-old Egyptian queen, Nefertiti. As the chief wife of a pharaoh, Nefertiti raised 6 daughters and was at the forefront of a religious and social revolution. She held the position of priest, unheard of for a woman in her time, and was even given her own temple. Although she mysteriously disappeared, her image was captured forever in many stunning works of art. And it was that image which Elizabeth soon hoped to take for her own.
If I see my original face, I think this was your past. This was, I feel the spirit in this person, the spirit who wanted to be free.
At first, Elizabeth was just using her face as a canvas to paint on. using plastic surgery to make herself a living work of art. But she began to have strange dreams about the beautiful Nefertiti, believing she was the actual reincarnation of the Egyptian ruler. She became surgically obsessed with assuming the queen's identity.
One day I had a vision how to make out of my face a piece of art. And I saw exactly the face, how it should look.
Her transformation began with a visit to a Berlin plastic surgeon for a nose reduction.
I had the eyes done, and I had the mouth done, you know, the lips up and down, you know, that they look a bit fuller. I had the chin done several times, the nose. I had facelifts done because the face became finer.
Along the way, Elizabeth met and married her husband, Roy.
I support this idea with my fullest heart. Like an artist uses a picture, she uses her body as a tool to express something.
Roy's support is not only emotional, it's financial as well. The cost of Elizabeth's 24 operations is more than $250,000.
It's a lot of struggle we are going through. I mean, just imagine about the money. As a normal couple, you know, normal earners, we have to find many, many thousands of dollars to pay for these operations.
Roy and Elizabeth hope to recoup some of their investment through modeling and a calendar. In the meantime, Roy says his wife has become a virtual prisoner to her newfound beauty.
There's nothing outside for her at the moment. She's so extraordinary in her looks and her ways of life that wouldn't fit in anywhere, you know, so she needs her golden cage, and that's what I'm going to help her to create.
I had never doubt regarding my surgery because it gave me a task. I could transform negative energies into love, into something beautiful. That's just it.
Next, the reproduced masterpieces that are only skin deep. You won't believe where people are putting these stamp-sized pictures. Then, you think mimicking words is a parent's calling. Well, these feathered prodigies can count.
How many? Well, that's right, 2.
And this tough guy wants to go bowling with 2 fire trucks in tow. He says he can do it with some help from a higher power. See if the strong survives this test of fate when Ripley's returns. Stories you can't imagine. People you won't believe. Ripley's Believe It or Not. His name was Mr. Skeets. His notoriety began when he celebrated his 90th birthday by getting married to a woman who was more than 70 years younger than he was. But even more amazing was that several years later, Mr. Skeets became a new father twice. Here he is at a sprite 103 with his 5-year-old son Eric and his daughter Doris, who was 2. Mr. Skeets apparently took an active role in his children's lives. Each morning he walked his son to and from school, which only confirms doctors' advice that men who exercise regularly can enjoy a fulfilling sex life well into their 90s.
Art is one of those things that cannot be clearly defined. In fact, most everyone has their own theory on what makes a good work of art. Case in point.
They're considered some of the finest works of art ever created, masterpieces in their own right. But these pictures didn't come from the brushes of Da Vinci, Van Gogh, or Botticelli. They came from the needles of Anil Gupta, an artist who specializes in miniature tattoos.
My goal was to achieve something substantial enough so I can be, called as a pioneer.
With his canvas of living, breathing skin, Anil reproduces these beautiful paintings into tattoos the size of postage stamps.
Miniatures were part of me trying to achieve something finer, exciting, breathtaking, and above all, wonderful.
Anil's talent was nurtured in his native Bombay, India. He brought his amazing dedication to artistic detail to the U.S. in 1991.
When people look at this miniatures and they see this huge painting shrunk to a small size, looks like a postage stamp on skin, they get intrigued, they get mesmerized a lot more than I've seen happening to my bigger pieces.
With Ripley's in attendance, Anil will create another unique masterpiece. His canvas is Brandy Bonilla, a young mother who's chosen a piece of art that's close to her heart.
It's a portrait of the Madonna by Da Vinci, is what I picked for today. It has religious symbolism, and I wanted something maternal. And the painting is beautiful.
The task is so tedious, Anil must put all his concentration into this work for more than 3 hours. But all of that focus is about to pay off.
You're about to see some of the last strokes in this miniature, and I can say it comfortably, it's all done, it's finished.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is incredible. This is, it's just breathtaking.
Not only that, the price tag for the reproduction was just $700. That's millions less than the original.
If you were at sea for months on end with no books, no TV, nothing except a bunch of matches and a pocket knife, what would you do? Well, probably not this.
After more than 30 years as one of the most successful stars in the music business, you can bet Glen Campbell has played hundreds of guitars. But this may be the most unusual guitar of all.
It works.
It's a one-of-a-kind acoustic guitar built back in 1937. What makes it all the more remarkable is that it's constructed entirely of used wooden matchsticks. 25,000 of them to be exact.
Look at the design, isn't that amazing?
Absolutely, yes.
It's actually a work of art.
Thank you.
And it works, it actually plays.
The stunning guitar, as well as this violin, mandolin, and banjo, were all the creations of a bored British sailor named Jack Hall. Stuck at sea in the 1930s with little to do, he began building things out of used matchsticks.
The first item he completed was in 1932, and that was this little simple box with this slide-off lid inlaid with 3 coins. And this he made to hold his darts. So he realised from the very first object what he could do with the burnt ends of the matchsticks.
Jack soon began building highly detailed and intricate works of art. And then a remark from a fellow sailor gave him an idea.
He was admiring my dad's creations, and he jokingly said to him, "Well, why don't you make a fiddle, Jack, and strike up a tune?"
Working 5 hours a day for 6 months, he glued together 20,000 matchsticks to create his first instrument, a violin.
He had no musical knowledge, he had no carpentry skills, and he hardly had ever seen a fiddle before. So when the ship used to touch port, he would find a pawnbroker's ashore and go in there and just look and handle a fiddle just to get the weight and the feel of it, and then he would take a few little crude pencil sketches and measurements. I mean, this is on an old love letter that, it wasn't my mother then, but it was his girlfriend, but that was an old letter that he sent to her. And this is some of the measurements that he actually put together. I mean, everything he created was with a knife and a file. And I still have the original ones here today. There's the cutthroat razor, and there's the knife.
By the time Jack left the Navy in 1945, he had created a mini orchestra. But since he couldn't play the instruments, they ended up in his attic. And there they stayed for 3 decades until he resumed his unique hobby in 1984.
And here's the last string instrument my father made. This is a lot younger than all the other pieces you've seen, and you can tell this by the colour.
Finally, in 1991, Jack's dream came true when a quintet of professional musicians played the instruments live on BBC television. When Ripley's heard that Glen Campbell, another fan of these hand-built instruments, was touring in England, we arranged for him to meet Tony Hall in London.
It truly was an amazing, matchless performance. You know, I was absolutely, well, I was knocked out with your performance, and I know if my dad was alive today, he would feel the same way.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, this is a matchless performance here also.
Thank you, yeah.
If you thought it took a lot of matches to make those instruments, it took over 300,000 wooden matchsticks to build this Coliseum. We all know that parrots can mimic human speech, but can they understand what it is that they're saying? Irene Pepperberg believes that they can.
What matter? Wood. Very good, Griffin. Good boy.
At the University of Arizona, some of the most challenging classes are literally for the birds.
Alex, look, on the tray.
What color is 5? What color is 5? Very good birdie. Good boy.
Professor Irene Pepperberg is a renowned specialist in animal intelligence. For the past 20 years, she's been teaching Congo African gray parrots to talk and understand what they're talking about.
Do you want a nut? No, I don't. We work with the birds in very special ways. We train them to communicate with us using, I say, the sounds of English speech. And then we use this communication code to examine their intellectual abilities, their intelligence. Come here.
But these are no run-of-the-mill parrots asking if Polly wants a cracker.
Want a cracker?
They're some of the hardest working students on campus.
Okay, what sound is Rose? What sound is Rose? Very good. Okay.
While the research might look like fun and games, it actually has some very serious applications for the human species.
We're using them for models for developing training techniques that might help with children that have learning disabilities.
Alex, the senior member of this class of 3, is Professor Pepperberg's star pupil. 22 out of 23 years of his life have been spent working with the professor. So let's see if the academic life has paid off.
What matter? Paper, very good. What matter? Very good boy. What toy? Truck. Very good truck. No, can you tell me what matter? Whoa. Very good boy.
Pretty amazing, especially when you consider a parrot's brain is the size of a walnut.
We do a lot of studies to make it clear that the birds understand these vocalizations, that they really use them in meaningful ways. We do a task with Alex where we ask him 3 or 4 different questions about the same objects so that he has to understand the content of our questions.
Just watch and remember this is unedited, untreated, real-time video.
All right, look, how many? How many? 2. That's right, 2. What's different? Color. That's right. Can you tell me what color? Let me ask the question first. What color's smaller? Green. All right.
This next test is even trickier, proving once and for all this parrot is no mere mimic.
What's different?
Can Alex recognize a trick question when he hears one?
What's different? None. None different. Very good. Good boy. None different.
Wow, it doesn't look like much gets past this parrot.
Alex is right about 80% of the time. He's pretty much done all the tasks that the chimpanzees and dolphins have done.
Now Professor Pepperberg turns her attention to Griffin, a 4-year-old African gray who's been with her since he was a baby.
And we need to work with Griffin to see if he can learn the kinds of things that Alex can do. We need to replicate it. So it's not just that there's one Einstein bird out there doing this.
Look on the tray. What's under?
Truck.
Truck is under. Good birdie. Do you want to play with it?
So the next time someone calls you a bird brain, you might just want to smile and say thanks.
Still to come. From the pulpit to the pavement, we're there as this holy man attempts to move 2 mountains of steel on Ripley's Believe It or Not. Amazing stories and unbelievable people. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Welcome back. Kevin Fast is one of the world's strongest men. And like many people with unusual abilities, you wouldn't know it if you ran into him on the street. And you definitely wouldn't know it if you ran into him on the job.
Kevin Fast is the strong man with a burning ambition.
The next 20 feet of yours. Thank you very much.
A fire truck needs a 300 horsepower engine to even budget. Kevin is about to become a human tow truck, pulling not one, but two of them. And he'll do it with only one manpower, his own. It's an unexpected undertaking for a man most people know as Reverend Fast. Back home in Cobourg, Canada, Kevin is an ordained Lutheran minister. He says it's a calling that didn't come naturally at first.
It's sort of the opposite of my personality. I'm a quiet, shy kind of guy.
I therefore forgive you all your sins.
It wasn't until after my first year seminary completed that I felt I could actually stand in the pulpit and speak without freezing and having a tennis ball in my throat.
When he's not in the pulpit, his congregation can frequently see him around town, practicing for an upcoming strongman competition.
Keep going, hon, you can do it.
He's certainly not hard to spot, especially when he's dressed in a kilt for the Highland Games, throwing a 20-pound hammer 100 yards, or a telephone pole 50 feet. Kevin's wife, Sue, first learned of his strong-arm tactics when they attended college together.
He stuck out. Besides being very strong, he was very smart. Then he'd walk around campus, and everyone used to call him Bench. And I thought, well, who's this guy they call Bench? And they say, well, Kevin Fast. He benches 500 pounds. Don't you know?
Most Saturdays, Kevin is in training. Weights are one thing, but he's found another good way to stay in shape. He first became interested in strong-arm competitions after watching the sport on TV a few years ago.
They pulled a fire truck, and it really piqued my interest. And I don't know, just events seemed to develop where I contacted the fire department, and they said I could try pulling their fire truck.
His attempt was a success and was even noted in a Ripley's cartoon in 1998. So when he decided to try to pull two, we offered to provide the trucks. Pitting one man against two giant fire trucks has never been attempted before. It normally takes 7 firemen to move just one truck. This Herculean effort amazes even stunt professionals like Steve Ritzy.
In the film business, we wouldn't do it like this. It would be an illusion in the film business where we'd tow it with something else and look like somebody's pulling it. But this is the real deal, so it's much more dangerous.
How's that surface looking good to you? I mean, it's okay, or look at that?
Actually, I am a little worried about the surface. It might be a little harder than had it been without the pebbles in it, but I think we're going to give it a good go anyway.
Think you get a good grip?
Oh, okay. We're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, let's get you tied in.
The truck in front has been rigged with a special bar that will knock down a series of bowling pins as Kevin pulls both trucks forward. As he gets ready to start, this man of faith clears his mind and concentrates on the task at hand.
I block everything out so I don't know anyone's there. It's me against the trucks, and all that's in my mind is that I'm going to do this.
Kevin takes the position. It's the moment of truth.
Come on.
He's pulled one truck, but could 2 fire trucks be his undoing? As the anxious crowd watches, Kevin uses every ounce of strength he has, but still, the trucks show no sign of budging. Finally, the exertion is too much, and Kevin gives up.
After my first attempt, I felt really bad and embarrassed that I'd let everyone down. I just couldn't figure out what went wrong.
I was doing okay. I was staying calm, and then all of a sudden I was like, it's not moving. Like, there's something wrong.
But he's not through yet. After a brief timeout and a resupply of oxygen, Kevin lets his crew know that he's ready to try it again.
I'm going to check with the drivers and make sure everything's clear. If you want to give it a go again? Okay. I know you can do this.
Kevin is convinced that this time he can pull it off. Literally.
Come on, Kevin, you can do it.
I get into my crouch position, but I do have a distraction. I'm very nervous because I failed on my first attempt. What if I can't do it again?
Firmly in position, Kevin starts pushing with his legs. He slowly builds up speed as the trucks nudge forward. And as the crowd cheers him on, the pins start going down, one by one.
Each bowling pin, I think, is a goal that I'm reaching.
As the last pin hits the ground, an exhausted Kevin lets go of the tow rope. His elation is obvious despite being completely out of breath.
This particular truck pull is the best of all because, in effect, I reached the lowest of lows having failed on my first attempt, and I'm right on top of the mountain now having accomplished it. And that dramatic change, of course, gives me the best feeling of all. This is the best pull I've ever had.
Felt great.
That, he says, was thanks to a little extra help he got, not only from above, but from here on Earth as well.
And the crowd really appreciating it. That, makes it all worthwhile and actually makes you want to do it again.
We'll be right back. The Ripley warehouse is filled with artifacts, many of them personally collected by Robert Ripley during his world travels, like this mask. This hails from Cameroon, Africa, and was believed to have been crafted in the 19th century. This mask was designed to be carried on a pole as part of a victory ceremony for the Ikwoi tribe. This looks like wood, but it's not. It's actually human skin. Unbelievable? Believe it.
Scare Tactics. Back-to-back episodes. Tomorrow starting at 7. Only on Chiller. Scary good.
Having trouble finding the hole.
That was the scariest thing I've ever done.
Only those with the guts.
All right, let's do this.
Win the glory.
I did! I'm so happy!
Fear Factor. Back-to-back episodes. Starting next. Only on Chiller. Scary good.